How many times have you looked in the mirror and felt that your face carries the weight of the years, not just in your skin, but in your eyes, in the way you recognize yourself? What's curious is that the passage of time doesn't always show first in wrinkles, but in the loss of radiance, in the paleness left by worry, in the tension of a jaw that never rests. And behind that lies a painful truth. Often it's not age that steals our youth, but the small habits we repeat every day without realizing it. I'm Gabriel, and for over 15 years I've been studying and practicing Stoicism as a philosophy of life. I've guided hundreds of people in different parts of the world to reconnect with something that never gets lost. The possibility of living with courage, with dignity, and with a face that reflects peace beyond the years. What I've discovered is that rejuvenation isn't about chasing an impossible illusion or hiding the lines that life gives us, but about understanding that our skin is the mirror of how we treat our body, our mind, and our spirit. In this talk, we'll go through 13 simple yet deeply transformative habits that can change how you look and how you feel in less than a week. They're not magic formulas or empty promises, but practical paths where ancient philosophy, modern psychology, and spirituality converge to give you something very concrete: a calmer face, a lighter body, and a more peaceful heart. Let's begin. Number 1. Relax your brow and release your jaw. I want you to imagine an invisible thread running from your forehead down to your neck. Over the years, that thread has grown so tight you hardly even notice it anymore. It's with you when you cook, when you talk to someone who doesn't listen, even when you sleep. Have you ever noticed waking up with clenched teeth, as if you fought a nighttime battle? That constant tension doesn't just exhaust your mind, it imprints itself on your face, robs your skin of oxygen, and speeds up what we call aging. The first step to rejuvenating isn't buying an expensive cream, but becoming aware of that invisible rope and learning to let it go. I've worked with people who came to me convinced the solution to their tired face was external: a mask, a supplement, even surgery. But in many cases, it was enough to teach them to pause twice a day, place their hands on their face, and ask, "How's my forehead? What's my jaw doing right now?" The surprising thing was that after just a week, not only did the mirror reflect a fresher face, but they also felt mentally lighter, as if they had cleared out the clutter piled up in a corner of their house. I remember one day, after a talk where I spoke about applying Stoicism to the body, a 70-year-old woman approached me. She confessed she had spent decades nervously biting the inside of her mouth. When she began practicing what we call the brow pause, a mindful moment in front of the mirror, breathing and relaxing her jaw, not only did she stop biting herself, but her children told her she seemed different, more radiant. And it wasn't thanks to a miracle cream, it was because she had learned to inhabit herself. Let me suggest a little exercise right now. Sit comfortably. Place your tongue on the roof of your mouth just behind your teeth. Close your eyes for a moment and take a deep breath. Now imagine your forehead as a calm lake. Feel how the water smooths out, how the little waves disappear. Release your jaw, let it hang open just a bit, as if a light fabric bag were dangling from your chin. Stay there for a few seconds. That sense of rest, brief as it is the beginning of a face that breathes youth. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his Meditations that tranquility comes when we give ourselves to the present and stop fighting what we cannot control. Interesting that even he, Emperor of Rome, spoke of something so similar to relaxing a muscle. Because this isn't just mental philosophy, it's also about giving your body permission not to fight all the time. If you make this a habit, you'll notice something curious. People will start asking if you've been sleeping more, if you've changed something in your routine. They won't realize what you really did was simply stop frowning at life. And that, believe me, rejuvenates more than any product. In the end, relaxing your brow and releasing your jaw is a powerful metaphor. A reminder that not everything in life needs our brute force, that often it's enough to loosen our grip a little for life to fall back into place on its own. And every time you do it, it's not just your skin that rejuvenates. It's your whole way of being in the world. Number 2, Go to bed at the same time, no matter what. Think of your skin as a restoration workshop. Every night, when you close your eyes, that workshop switches on its lights and begins repairing cracks, cleaning impurities, and polishing the surfaces worn down by the day. But if you open the workshop at odd hours, one night arriving at 10, another at 1 in the morning, the restorers don't even know where to start. The result? Unfinished work, neglected walls, and a face that looks older by dawn than it really is. The secret isn't just sleeping a lot, but sleeping at the same time every day. Discipline, more than quantity, is what truly rejuvenates. A few years ago, I went through a phase where between work and pointless distractions, I would go to bed at random hours. One night I collapsed at 10, the next I was buried in papers until 2 in the morning. The mirror was unforgiving. Deep circles, dull skin, tired eyes. One day, almost as a joke, I decided to run an experiment, going to bed at the same time every single night, no matter how busy I was. And the surprising thing was that in less than a week, not only did I feel more energized, but the reflection in the mirror showed someone else entirely. Rested skin, brighter eyes, even a better mood. The workshop was finally working on schedule. The Stoics spoke often about the importance of order. Seneca said, "Life, if you know how to organize it, is enough." The same is true of sleep. Organizing it doesn't mean having perfect nights, but giving your body a clear signal of when rest begins. That small act of order is, at its core, an act of self-love. I'm not talking about a complicated ritual or secret formulas. It can be as simple as deciding that by 11 at night, there are no screens, no calls, no arguments. That's your sacred boundary. I recommend having a key phrase, something short you repeat as you turn off the light, a reminder to your mind that the day has ended. It could be, "Here my body rests, here my soul rests." That simple repetition is more powerful than any sleeping pill. Picture your body as an old pendulum clock. If you push it at different times, it goes out of sync and marks the wrong hour. But if you let it swing at the same time every night, it keeps its precision. Your sleep is that pendulum. Each night you keep the schedule, your skin receives the signal to start its work on time. In less than 7 days, you'll see visible results. Less puffiness, more open eyes, an even tone. And it's not magic, it's consistency. What once seemed like a luxury, a fixed bedtime, becomes free medicine. In the end, going to bed at the same time is a reminder that rejuvenation doesn't always come from doing more, but from bringing order to what you already do. Because when rest becomes a habit, your skin, your mind, and your spirit work together like a workshop that opens its doors every night on time, without excuses and without delay. Number 3, turn off screens at sunset. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you watched the sky grow dark without a screen in front of you? Maybe you don't even remember, because between your phone, the TV, and the computer, your eyes rarely witness the true arrival of night. And here's the problem. Your body doesn't know it's time to sleep if it keeps receiving artificial light that mimics the sun. That blue light tricks your brain, blocks melatonin, and leaves your skin working in exhaustion mode, as if it never had permission to regenerate. Some time ago, I set myself a challenge. 90 minutes without screens before bed. No phone, no emails, no endless series. At first, it felt uncomfortable, like someone had taken away a toy. But after the 3rd night, something curious happened. My eyelids grew heavy at the same time every evening. My dreams became deeper, and most noticeably, my face looked less puffy in the morning. My skin had finally gotten the space to repair itself, without the interference of artificial light. This isn't about demonizing technology. After all, you and I are connected right now thanks to it. It's about using it wisely. The problem isn't that you own a phone, it's that you take it to bed as if it were just another pillow. Marcus Aurelius once said, "A man's life is what his thoughts make of it." Today, we might rephrase it. Your rest is what your relationship with screens makes of it. I want to invite you to try something this week. Choose a gentle substitute for that time. Maybe light a warm lamp, read a few pages of an easy book, listen to soft music, or simply sit in silence with a cup of tea. The key isn't to fill the void of the screen with more stimulation, but with experiences that tell your body, night has come, you can let go. And let me pause here to thank you for being here, listening with attention. I'll ask you for something special. Subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and tell me in the comments what country you're watching from. I'd love to know where this community that seeks to grow with wisdom is joining from. That's how we build a space where we don't just rejuvenate our skin, but also our spirit. I'll leave you with 2 questions that may stir you a little. What's the first thing you look at when you wake up? Your window or your phone? What's the last thing your eyes see before sleep? The night sky or the blue screen? Your answers will say much more about your rest than any smartwatch ever could. Because in the end, turning off screens at sunset isn't about giving up the world. It's about reconnecting with a natural rhythm technology has made us forget. And in that simple return, your skin receives the clearest signal of all. Now it's time to heal. Number 4. Hydrate from within, intelligently. Do you know what your skin asks for first thing in the morning? Water. Not cream, not makeup, not an expensive product, just real water. Silent dehydration is one of the biggest thieves of youth. It dries out your skin, dulls its natural glow, and deepens the lines you already have. But here's the key. It's not just about drinking liters and liters of water as if you were an empty jug. It's about hydrating smartly, because not all water reaches where your skin needs it. I once met a woman who told me, "Gabriel, I drink 3 liters of water a day and my skin is still dry. What am I doing wrong?" When we looked at her routine, we discovered she wasn't getting any minerals to help her body retain that water. It's like watering a plant in a pot with poor soil. The water drains away, but the plant stays wilted. I suggested she add clear broths, gentle herbal teas, and a little water with a pinch of natural mineral salt. In less than a week, her face looked different. Not because she was drinking more, but because she was drinking better. I went through something similar myself. In my younger years, I thought staying hydrated meant carrying a huge bottle of water everywhere and drinking endlessly. The result? I felt bloated, heavy, and worst of all, my skin still looked dull. It wasn't until I understood that the balance came from light mineralization, a vegetable broth, water with lemon, and herbal infusion, that I noticed the difference. Skin doesn't just need liquid, it needs nutrients to hold onto it. The clearest analogy is a plant. A pot without rich soil, no matter how much you water it, will never bloom. But when the soil is alive, just a little water makes the green shine. That's how your body works. It's not about excess, it's about quality over quantity. The Stoics spoke of temperance as an essential virtue, and here temperance applies as well. Neither excess nor lack, but the right balance. Drinking intelligently is an act of sobriety and respect for your body. It's not about chasing trends like the gallon-a-day challenge, but about listening to your body and giving it what it truly asks for. If you start tomorrow, try this. As soon as you wake up, drink a glass of water with a few drops of lemon or a pinch of sea salt. Notice how your energy shifts compared to drinking plain water. Do this for a week, then look in the mirror. You'll see a different glow in your skin, a freshness that didn't come from outside, but from within. In the end, hydrating intelligently isn't just a health habit. It's a reminder that the essential is usually the simplest. You don't need miracle promises, just a return to the basics, giving your body what truly sustains it. And believe me, your skin will thank you in the clearest language possible. Light. Number 5. Organize your meals to tame sugar. Let me confess something. For years, I thought visible aging was purely genetic, until I discovered that much of what we see in the mirror has more to do with how we manage our glucose than with the number on the calendar. Every time you eat too much sugar or refined flour, your blood spikes like a roller coaster, and those spikes leave marks on your skin: inflammation, puffiness, loss of radiance. But here's a powerful secret. It's not only about what you eat, but the order in which you eat it. There's a simple rule that transforms how your body processes food: fiber first, then protein and fat, and starches or sugars last. Something as simple as starting a meal with a green salad can reduce the impact of what comes next. I tested it myself. I used to devour bread as a starter and ended up drowsy, my face swollen. When I reversed the order and began with vegetables, the effect was radical. Less heaviness and, most noticeably, a lighter face the next morning. I remember an older student who came to my workshops convinced that her facial puffiness was just inevitable with age. I suggested one small change. Start meals with vegetables, then protein, and save bread or rice for the end. 5 days later, she called me and said, "Gabriel, I feel less bloated, and my grandchildren even say I look more awake." She hadn't changed the menu, just the order. That's the power of such a simple habit. Picture your body as a theater. If the actors walk on stage without order, they collide, they interrupt each other, the play is a mess. But if each one enters at the right time, the story flows. The same goes for your meals. Order dictates how the show unfolds in your blood, and when the script is clear, your skin reflects it. Stoicism often speaks of discipline, and here, discipline doesn't mean deprivation. It means choosing how you begin. You don't need to forbid yourself bread, but you do need to know when to give it space. That small decision is the difference between an inflamed body and a calm one. I want to suggest an experiment. Next time you sit down to a full meal, start with something green, even just a handful of lettuce with olive oil. Then enjoy your protein and leave bread or sweet fruit for the end. Notice how your energy feels an hour later and how your face looks the next morning. Do it for a week and you'll see a visible change that doesn't rely on extreme diets or impossible sacrifices. In the end, organizing your meals isn't punishment or a passing trend. It's learning to speak your body's language. And when you speak that language, your skin responds with gratitude, giving back freshness and youth that were always there, just waiting for a bit of order to come into the light. Number 6, put real protein and collagen on your plate. Your skin is like a wall made of bricks and cement. Every day it wears down a little from the sun, from stress, from the emotions etched on your face. And every night it needs fresh materials to repair those bricks. If you don't give it enough protein, what do you think it's going to work with? It's like asking a builder to raise a wall without giving him a single bag of cement. I'm not talking about expensive supplements or miracle powders. I'm talking about real food, the kind we've always had. Eggs, legumes, fish, chicken, lean meat, even a good bone broth. And don't forget vitamin C. It's the key that unlocks your body's ability to produce collagen. You can get it from fresh orange juice, but also from peppers, kiwi, strawberries, broccoli. All of that is medicine for your skin, and it's right there at the market around the corner. Let me share a very personal scene. Years ago, at a neighborhood market, I met an elderly woman whose skin was luminous, soft, almost glowing from within. Curious, I asked her secret. She laughed with that warm, genuine laugh only grandmothers have and said, "Sunday soup, son, Sunday soup." That was her ritual, a bone broth with vegetables and herbs she made every week. There were no luxury creams in her bathroom, but there was always that broth in her kitchen, and her skin told the story. I adopted that practice myself. Not every Sunday, but often I make a slow soup, the kind that fills the whole house with its aroma and stirs childhood memories. And whenever I include it in my routine, I notice the change. Lighter joints, firmer skin, even a more stable mood. It's not placebo. It's giving your body the raw material it's made of. Stoicism teaches us to value the natural, the simple, the things that truly matter. Seneca said, "Nature never deceives us. It is we who deceive ourselves." And it fits perfectly here. We search for collagen in expensive jars when nature has already placed it in simple, humble foods. If you want to start today, keep it easy. Add an egg to your breakfast, a handful of lentils to your lunch, a grilled fish to your dinner, and always pair it with a fruit or vegetable rich in vitamin C. Nothing complicated, nothing out of reach. Your skin will thank you. In just a few days, you'll notice more firmness, less sagging, a glow that doesn't come from outside but from your table. Because in the end, rejuvenation isn't about magic. It's about giving your body what it always needed. Real food that nourishes, strengthens, and breathes life back into every cell. Number 7. soft light in the morning, real darkness at night. Let me ask you something. When was the last time you truly let the sunrise enter your life? I don't mean glancing at the clock at 6 in the morning. I mean opening the window and letting the light touch your skin, letting your eyes feel that natural glow announcing a new day. What you may not know is that early light isn't just a pretty show. It's a messenger that wakes up your hormones, resets your inner clock, and tells your skin, it's time to renew. For years, I lived with disordered schedules. I woke up late, curtains closed, and the first light my eyes received came from a screen. I couldn't understand why I felt tired even after 8 hours of sleep. The answer was simple. My body never got the signal of dawn. It wasn't until I started stepping outside every morning, even just onto the balcony, letting natural light reach my eyelids, that everything changed. Within a week, I slept better, and my skin reflected it. More color, fewer dark circles. The human body is designed like an orchestra. Morning light is the conductor, signaling each instrument to play in time, hormones, metabolism, energy. But if the conductor never shows up, the orchestra falls apart. The same happens at night. Without real darkness, the concert never ends. We sleep in rooms filled with LED lights and glowing devices, yet expect deep rest. Impossible. Here's something practical. In the morning, as soon as you wake up, open the window or step outside for 10 minutes. It doesn't matter if the sky is cloudy, the light still passes through and reaches your body. And at night, switch off every unnecessary light. Let your room be as close to total darkness as possible. In less than a week, you'll notice the difference in your skin. Less puffiness, more freshness, a more even tone. Marcus Aurelius spoke about living in harmony with nature. Today, we could translate that into this. Let the sun and the dark set your rhythms, not screens or artificial lamps. It's an act of humility, a reminder that we are still part of a greater order. I remember a walk in a small village where I stayed for a few days. There were no streetlights, no glaring urban glow. People rose with the sun and rested when night fell. What struck me most were their faces, serene, free from the premature wear I so often see in cities. I learned it wasn't just genetics, it was the natural rhythm they respected. In the end, giving your body soft light in the morning and real darkness at night isn't a luxury, it's a biological right. And when you honor that right, your skin, your mind, and your spirit align like a symphony that suddenly returns to harmony. Number 8. Breathe slowly through your nose and add pauses. There's something curious most of us do. We breathe as if we were in a hurry, as if the air were about to run out. Short, quick inhales through the mouth, shallow exhales, a rhythm that keeps us in constant alert. What few people know is that this way of breathing inflames, ages, and deprives the skin of oxygen. Because skin doesn't just live off creams or collagen, it lives off the blood that circulates freely when we breathe calmly. I discovered this in an unexpected way. During a stressful period, I caught myself one afternoon in the mirror with a tense, flushed face and a heart pounding like a drum. I thought it was fatigue. But a breathing teacher told me, it's not fatigue, it's that you never stop fighting with the air. Since then, I've practiced something simple, breathing through my nose, slowly, and adding a small pause at the end of each exhale, like letting wine rest so it can settle. And believe me, within days my face changed. Less inflammation, fewer signs of fatigue, more serenity in my expression. Imagine your breath as the ocean's waves. If they crash violently against the shore, they drag sand, break things, and leave the landscape in chaos. But if the waves arrive gently, steadily, the beach stays intact. That's how your body works. Slow breathing keeps the inner calm, reduces inflammation, and allows the skin to receive more oxygen. The vagus nerve, that silent wire connecting brain and body, activates when you breathe slowly and with pauses. I like to picture it as an old sage lowering the volume of inner noise. Each time you give it space with your breath, it works quietly, putting everything back in order. And that calm shows outwardly. Your face begins to speak another language, the language of serenity. Here's a simple practice you can try right now. Inhale through your nose to a count of 4. Exhale for 6, and at the end of the exhale, stay still for 2 seconds. Do this 3 times in a row. Notice how your shoulders drop, how your forehead softens, how your body realizes there's no rush. That's the true language of youth, calm. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than necessary." Breathing poorly is exactly that, suffering needlessly, rushing a body that isn't asking for it. Breathing well, on the other hand, reminds your system there's no danger, that it can work in repair mode. If you make this a habit, in less than a week you'll feel something shift. You'll sleep better, you'll swell less, your skin will recover that fresh tone you thought was gone, and all thanks to something as simple as air, something you already have. In the end, breathing slowly with pauses is a reminder that life is not a race, it's a walk, and your skin reflects whether you're running through it or savoring it. Every calm breath is a silent rejuvenation that shows more than you think. Number 9, move gently every hour. Think of your blood as a river. When the river flows, it carries nutrients, oxygen, and life all the way to its farthest shore. But when it stagnates, puddles form, bad odors appear, and life fades away. The same thing happens in your body when you spend hours sitting still. Blood slows, lymph gets stuck, your skin loses color and freshness. You don't need a gym or extreme routines to fix it. 5 minutes of movement every hour is enough. In my early years working at a computer, I would go up to 6 hours straight without leaving my chair. By the end of the day, my face looked completely different, swollen, dull, drained. That's when I started practicing what I call hallway movements. Small stretches, opening the hips, rolling the arms, pacing back and forth. It took me no more than 5 minutes, but the difference was dramatic. A week later, my skin looked more oxygenated, my eyes more awake. I remember an older man who once attended one of my talks. He told me that even though he ate well and slept on time, his face always looked lifeless. I suggested a simple practice. Every hour, when the chime of his living room clock rang, he should stand up, walk to the kitchen, roll his shoulders, and come back. After 7 days, he wrote to me excitedly, "Gabriel, even my neighbors say I look more alive." He hadn't changed anything else. He just moved. The body was designed to move. Stoicism reminds us that nature gave us a body to use, not to leave on pause. Epictetus said we don't control everything, but we do control how we use what we have. And your body is just that, a precious resource that asks for action to stay young. Try this. Set a gentle alarm on your phone or watch every hour. When it rings, stand up, walk, stretch, open your arms as if waking from a long nap. Do it for 5 minutes and then return to what you were doing. By the end of the day, you'll feel lighter, and your skin will show a different tone, more vibrant. Picture your face as a canvas. If the brushes never receive fresh water, the colors fade. Movement is that water that refreshes and cleans the canvas of your face. In the end, it's not about big efforts or military discipline. It's about small, steady acts. Moving every hour is a reminder to your body that it's alive, that it's flowing. And that flow inevitably shows up in your skin, giving you a freshness no cream could ever imitate. Number 10. Facial self-massage and simple drainage. Think of your face as a garden after the rain. When water pools without flowing, it turns into stagnant puddles, attracts mosquitoes, and loses freshness. The same thing happens to your face when lymph doesn't circulate. Eyelids swell, cheekbones feel heavy, the neck stiffens. The good news is, you don't need expensive devices or exotic rituals to fix this. Your own hands are enough. I learned this practice from an elderly woman I met at a retreat. One night, while we were talking, she showed me how she combed her face with her fingertips before bed. She moved her hands outward from the center, gently, as if smoothing out a clean tablecloth. She told me, "This way, I teach my face where to flow." At first, it sounded far too simple, but when I tried it, I understood her wisdom. I woke up with less puffiness and a new lightness in my expression. Facial self-massage isn't a modern luxury. It's an ancestral practice. It's about using soft fingertip movements, from the forehead toward the temples, from the cheeks toward the ears, from the chin down to the neck. Just a few minutes are enough to stimulate circulation, oxygenate the skin, and release built-up tension. If you do it every night, you'll see your face begin to change in less than a week. Stoicism teaches us to seek solutions within ourselves. Here it fits perfectly. You don't depend on an external product, but on your own presence and your own hands. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who has never faced adversity." I would add, no face grows heavier than the one that never releases its tension. Try it right now if you can. Place your fingers on your forehead and slide them outward, gently. Then on your cheeks, moving from the inside out. Finally, on your chin, moving downward toward your neck. Breathe as you do it. Feel how your face lightens, as if you were removing an invisible weight. That small gesture connects you to yourself and your body in a deeply intimate way. Don't underestimate this habit. In just a few days, you'll see your eyes clear, your features soften, your skin regain a freshness you thought was lost. It's not magic. It's basic physiology practiced with consistency. In the end, facial self-massage isn't just about aesthetics. It's an act of self-care. It's looking in the mirror and deciding that your hands can also heal, that your skin doesn't need aggression, but tenderness. And that tenderness, turned into a habit, rejuvenates more than any trendy cream ever could. Number 11, heat and cold, with respect. The human body responds wonderfully to contrasts, but over the years we've forgotten how to listen and instead fallen into extremes. Some throw themselves into trendy ice baths like modern gladiators, while others cling to artificial heat as if afraid to feel even a hint of coolness. But your skin doesn't need punishment. It needs gentle stimulation, small reminders that it's still alive. I remember visiting an old spa in the south. It was a simple place, with warm pools and small cold baths. I watched the elders of the village. They entered slowly, enjoyed a few minutes of warmth, then a brief touch of cool water, and came out with a serenity on their faces that seemed from another time. They weren't competing, they weren't showing off endurance. They were simply letting their bodies rebalance. That scene taught me more about rejuvenation than any beauty manual ever could. At home, you can recreate something very simple. Place a warm towel over your face for a minute. Let your pores relax. Let the blood flow. Then rinse with fresh water, not icy, just cool enough to wake your skin. Do this a couple of times a week and you'll feel the difference. Looser muscles, less stiffness, a more even tone. No gadgets, no costly rituals, just the power of water. Stoicism teaches us to avoid extremes. Epictetus said we can't control what happens outside, but we can control how we respond. Here, the right response isn't to flee the cold or abuse the heat, but to integrate both with prudence. Excess of either exhausts, balance rejuvenates. Of course, respect is key. If you have circulatory issues, avoid sudden shocks and stick with warmth. This isn't about testing your limits, but about offering your skin a gentle stimulus to awaken its vitality. With a week of steady practice, you'll notice your skin takes on a different glow, as if it had received a breath of fresh air from within. Heat relaxes, cold activates. Together, in small doses, they remind your face that it still has plenty of life. In the end, applying heat and cold with respect is a reminder of what philosophy itself teaches. You don't need to live in extremes to feel alive. It's enough to alternate gently between rest and activation. Your skin, your mind, and your spirit will learn to move in that serene rhythm, like stepping in and out of an inner spa each day. Number 12, minimalist skincare. Today we're surrounded by shelves full of jars, creams, toners, serums with unpronounceable names. The cosmetics industry has convinced us that the more layers we put on our face, the younger we'll look. But the truth is different. Your skin doesn't need a dozen products. It needs consistency and simplicity. Layering formulas often irritates, creates more problems than it solves, and makes you dependent on something external you don't even fully understand. I went through that stage myself. At one point, my bathroom was overflowing with bottles, each one promising to rejuvenate or erase wrinkles. I became a slave to a routine that took me more than 20 minutes. And the irony? My skin looked worse, sensitive, red, tired. That's when I decided to try the opposite. Gentle cleansing, a basic moisturizer, and sun protection. Nothing else. To my surprise, in less than 2 weeks, my skin calmed down. I learned that less is more. Stoicism teaches us to live with the essentials, not to carry unnecessary ornaments. Seneca warned that the greater the number of superfluous things, the more they enslave us. The same is true for your face. The more you depend on complicated rituals, the more enslaved you feel by the routine. Minimalist care, on the other hand, frees you, gives you back time and peace of mind. Here's a 7-day experiment. Put away everything except a gentle cleanser, a simple moisturizer, and sunscreen. Just that. Watch how your skin responds. Chances are you'll notice less irritation, more evenness, and a sense of lightness. And the most valuable part, you'll rediscover that youth isn't on a shelf. It's in the discipline of simplicity. I often think of a verse that has stayed with me. Above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. I apply it to skincare as well. What matters isn't piling up products, but caring for the basics with love. Because in the end, your skin reflects your inner state. Try it. Notice how your relationship with the mirror changes when you're not surrounded by 10 bottles, but just the essentials. That kind of rest also rejuvenates. Less noise, more calm. In the end, minimalist skincare isn't just an aesthetic routine. It's a philosophy of life, a reminder that the essential is enough, and that consistency outshines any miracle promise. Your skin, freed from excess, will reflect that same freedom with freshness and dignity. Number 13. Peace of mind and clear boundaries. If there's something that ages us faster than the sun or time itself, it's the weight of what we carry in our minds. Unresolved anger, worries that aren't ours but we take on anyway, toxic conversations we replay over and over in silence. All of that shows up on the face, in the stiffness of the forehead, in tired eyes, in skin that's lost its glow. That's why the most powerful habit to rejuvenate your skin in less than a week isn't external. It's learning to set clear boundaries and to guard your peace of mind as something sacred. I've seen this in my own life. There was a time when I said yes to everything, favors, commitments, draining conversations. I ended up exhausted, my face tense, my energy gone. It wasn't until I dared to say no, with respect but with firmness, that something shifted. The curious thing is that, within days, not only was I sleeping better, but people started telling me I looked different. I hadn't changed my cream. I had changed my attitude. I invite you to make a skin pact this week. Write it on a piece of paper and stick it to your mirror. 3 non-negotiables you'll respect for 7 days. For example, no news before bed, no overdoing salt or alcohol at gatherings, no engaging with comments that don't serve you. 3 clear boundaries to protect your peace. That list will act like an invisible shield that, believe me, will show on your face. Marcus Aurelius said, "Perfect tranquility consists in the order of the mind." That order doesn't arrive by chance, it's built with small daily decisions. Your boundaries are that order in action. They're reminders that your well-being is non-negotiable, that your skin reflects the calm you choose to cultivate within. Before bed, try a simple ritual. Give thanks for 3 things from the day, and hand over to God or the universe what you cannot control. Do it softly, with calm. This practice lowers cortisol, quiets the mind, and prepares your skin for restorative rest. Within a week, you'll notice less rigidity in your face and a softer expression, as if you had set down a heavy load. In the end, peace of mind is the best cosmetic. No serum can match the glow that comes from a heart at ease. And clear boundaries are the key to protecting that peace. Because when you learn to say no to what drains you, your skin begins to say yes to life, with freshness, with dignity, and with the youth that was never gone, only hidden behind the noise. We've walked together through 13 habits that, while simple, are deeply transformative. From relaxing your brow to learning to say no with firmness, From organizing your meals to disciplined sleep, natural light, breathing, and even heat and cold applied with respect. All of them share a common thread, reminding you that youth isn't a privilege lost with age, but an attitude that shows on your skin when you care for your body, your mind, and your spirit with wisdom. I want to thank you wholeheartedly for staying until the end of this talk. That says a lot about you, your commitment to your well-being, and your desire to keep growing. You are an essential part of this community, and every time you choose to listen, reflect, and put things into practice, you give true meaning to this space. I'm Gabriel, and this channel, the Stoic Garden, exists to help you live with dignity, serenity, independence, and self-love. Here, we don't chase magic formulas. We seek practical philosophy and real habits that return control of life back to you. And I'd like to ask you something special. Tell me in the comments which country you're watching from. It excites me to see how this garden blooms in so many corners of the world. Also, write a powerful phrase that seals what we've learned today. Here's my proposal. My peace is reflected in my skin. Make it yours, share it, and let it be a daily reminder that true rejuvenation begins within. And if this video brought you clarity, share it with a sister, a friend, or someone who might need it. We never know when a word can be the encouragement another heart has been waiting for. Thank you for joining me once again on this journey. Up next, you'll see 2 videos on screen that will surely interest you. Pick one and keep exploring how to bring this wisdom into your life in a practical, simple way.